My name is Mikei, and I'm an artist living in Nashville, Tennessee, and I make music. Yeah, I grew up in Central Florida in a really small town where everybody was into football and things like that, and that wasn't really my scene. I was just a little rock and roll kid, growing up there. So I couldn't wait to get out, and pretty much the first chance I got when I was 18, I left and went down to Miami and just kind of got all tangled up in that scene. All of a sudden I was making music all day instead of having to go to school and do all these other things. It was like from the time I woke up till the time I went to bed, I was just playing guitar and writing songs and really starting to get into the recording process for the first time. I made most of my money from playing music, but what I did in the harder times was I wrote papers for college students. And I made pretty good money doing it, and I liked it because I felt like I got to learn a lot and I was getting paid for it, even though I wasn't getting credit or anything. It was cool. I got a guitar when I was 10. It was really, really cheap. It was from JCPenney. The guitar and the amp together, I think, was like $110. And I played my first gig when I was 13. My uncle was in a band and he left, and he said, well, if you want to be a professional musician, then you'll take this gig and you'll play this music you don't want to play. And it was on bass, so I didn't even play bass at the time. And the band was, they were gracious enough to give a little 13-year-old kid a shot. When I was in Florida, I was playing a lot of gigs. I think I did about 215 dates or so that year, and so we were gigging all the time. But I knew that there was no industry there, and I felt like I had really hit the ceiling. I was playing the same clubs, the same people, and I loved it, but I just knew that if I stayed there, I would do that forever. And I knew I had to get out, so I moved to Nashville, and at first I couldn't get a gig, and I had been gigging for the last, several years, making a living, and I couldn't do that here. So I picked up a job washing dishes downtown, and just to make ends meet. And then about a month after that, I got my first gig touring, and then about 6 months after that, I got to play the Grand Ole Opry at the Ryman, which was like a huge contrast, especially like every day as I'd be bussing dishes, they had this huge picture of the Ryman there, so I'd be like running by with dishes, just like looking at it, and then 6 months later I was there playing, so it was a bit of a trip. I've got this EP called Digital Imperfections, and basically what that is just a compilation of tracks I've recorded over the last year and a half. I probably, for myself as an artist, recorded about 30 tracks or so, and I've just picked my favorite half dozen, so I really had to whittle it down and just compile them, into a package. And every song is very different. One song to the next is like a completely different genre. And I like that because I'm inspired by every genre, so I think that's kind of a cool homage to that, I just want to experience as much as possible, and I look at the music as sort of my camera, as far as just capturing what's happening, and I think translating more to just art, I think art in general is just about sharing a unique perspective with the world. I like to live fast, I like to do as much as I can, and I feel like the music reflects that. Somebody told me once that after a civilization is gone, all that they have left is their art, and that really hit home to me. And so I guess ultimately I just want to leave my mark and contribute to pushing music forward into something new that hasn't necessarily been done before. I can't wait to see what happens next. I know it's going to be a hell of a ride, and we're going to be hitting a lot of towns, a lot of states, doing what we do. So yeah, very, very excited.